Hey my beautiful Scorpio peeps, what's going on everybody? It's Ann from CancerMoonsTarot and welcome into your weekly tarot reading from the week of the 20th through the 26th of November. How are you? Hope you guys are doing well. Do want to mention as always, if you're interested in a personal reading, you can check out my website, CancerMoonsTarot.com. It'll be the first link in the description box below. There is going to be a sale all November long on the 15-minute personal readings. I don't know why that was so hard to get out. So feel free to use code November23 if you want 20% off on those 15-minute readings. I'd be happy to go ahead and connect with you guys, okay? All right, though, Scorpio, what's going on here? Coming on into your week, baby. Message is coming on in here for Scorps, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus throughout the week of the 20th. Let's go ahead and see. Starting out with the overall energy for you, Scorpio, we have here the Justice. You could be dealing here with a Libra for some. Taking a look at the current energy, the Wheel of Fortune, what you're dealing with at this time. We have here the Emperor, and then looking at the current outcome, we have here a Empress showing up as well. So the Emperor to the Empress coming together, divine masculine and divine feminine energy showing up here in your reading. Now, we do start out here first and foremost with this Justice card. So I do feel here that with the Justice coming into play, you're trying to balance something, bring more harmonious energies into your life here this week. I think that right now you're looking at a big change and you're trying to kind of balance yourself out by embracing this change. It's like kind of like trying to reduce anxiety, reduce worry, reduce fear when it comes to something significantly changing in your life. So there could be some big life changes happening, right? The Wheel of Fortune here, though, is fortuitous energy, meaning that whatever, is coming into alignment with you, whatever change is happening here, it's going to be something that's beneficial to you. It's going to be something here that has fortune along to it. But I think that with any kind of change, we all naturally tend to feel a little bit apprehensive about it. We all tend to naturally feel a little weird about it, right? So we can be nervous with change when it tends to come. Now, looking at what you're dealing with here, the Emperor, okay. Emperor card is an interesting one because it can represent control. And I think that with the outcome here being the Empress, the key factor of this week is learning to shift out of the energy of control and just simply allow things to be and play out however they may need to. So it's about having to not battle and being stuck in that energy of control. It's about not fighting with the universe, but saying, hey, universe, I embrace whatever's coming my way. I embrace whatever changes are being made accordingly. I'm going to kind of do what I can to step back. So it's about not having that urge of control, fighting against that urge, and becoming in a place of flow, right? It's about acceptance and flow and letting things change the way that they need be. Now, let's try to get a little bit of insight here as to what this Wheel of Fortune is about. So why do we have the Wheel of Fortune here? Coming on into the week of the 20th for Scorpio. We have here the Two of Swords. We have here the Three of Swords. We have here the Six of Cups. So something's getting off the ground that's been stagnant for a while. I do want to say that this is going to be a situation you have history with here with the Six of Cups. And I also want to mention here with the Two of Swords showing up for you, Two of Swords here represents indecision. So I feel like you've been back and forth on whether or not you've wanted to let go of someone or something for quite some time. But the Three of Swords showing up over here is going to be the card of separation, right? So you will be separating from something here this week. It could be a person, it could be a specific kind of change, like a lifestyle change, or maybe a lifestyle you wanted to live. You could be detaching from that. You could be detaching from like a current point of view, or like the way that you are looking at things, a perspective. That's the word. You could be detaching from a perspective. But ultimately here, whatever it is you may be detaching from, it is something it does feel like you have long history with. Could even be a career for some. So I think that it was needed because this situation has kept you stuck for so long because there hasn't been growth and progress. And when there's not growth, there's stagnancy, right? So I think you've been feeling really stuck with something in your life for quite some time. And this week is where all that changes. It's time to embrace what comes next. It's time to embrace the next step, if you will. And I think that that can be scary. And it's honestly, most of the time, it's pretty scary to embrace something new when you're dealing with something that you've had longevity with, right? Six of Cups. Let's say, for example, you've worked at a job for the past 15 years and you know it doesn't serve you anymore. You know that this job just isn't it. But at the end of the day, it's been 15 years. It's been a comfort. It's been what you're used to. It's been familiarity. So getting into something new, that's kind of scary, right? Am I going to like this new job? Is it going to be better for me? Even though my last job didn't really serve me, is this experience going to be worse? Am I going to get paid as much? So it's a lot of freaky energy when you're so used to things being a certain way and now you have to look at a new way of life. So I understand why there's that energy of fear. And I think that in a way for some Scorpios too, you might try to be controlling the fear this week. Whereas you're like, I shouldn't be anxious. I shouldn't be worried. It's okay to be anxious and worried about what your new beginning is going to be. But as long as you don't allow that fear to consume you and control you, then everything's going to be okay. What this is about is saying, universe, I understand that a change is coming. And instead of allowing myself to be completely immersed in the fear and the worry, I might be a little anxious about it. I might be a little nervous, but I'm going to choose to allow things to play out exactly how they need to be and not control my circumstances, because I'm choosing to believe that the universe has my best interests at heart. If you can really tap into that energy, I think you're going to be golden here coming into the week of the 20th. Now, let's have a look and see what the challenge is going to be. What's coming up in the challenge position for Scorpio. And we have here the Four of Swords. Yeah. Leaving behind the familiarity, I think, is the biggest challenge you're facing. And I totally get where you're coming from, right? As a Cancer, I love my comfort. I am a creature of comfort, a creature of habit. I like sticking around doing the things I usually do. I like being involved with where I'm normally involved. So it's a little odd for me when change comes in, so I can understand that. So that seems to be the challenge here, and that's fair, but it's not going to be something you can't overcome. It's not going to be a challenge you cannot overcome. You will. All right. What can Scorpios here expect throughout the rest of their week? We already had an Ace of Pentacles come out, which is fantastic. But moving forward from that Ace of Pents, we have here the Two of Wands, we have here the Four of Cups, and we have here the Eight of Cups showing up as well. All right, taking a look here at what to expect. Ace of Pents here to the Two of Wands. I think that there is going to be new doorways opening up for you, new room, or you're going to be making room here for new opportunities is what I'm hearing. You have your Four of Cups and an Eight of Cups. It's about allowing yourself to say, okay, it is time fully to leave something in the past. So the detachment process is going to happen. You can definitely expect that coming up this week. But I also think that it's nice because you feel like you finally have room for something new in your life. For example, you didn't have room for a new job when you were working at the same job you hated for 15 years. So now that you let go of that job, you have room to explore your career opportunities. If you were in a romantic relationship with somebody you weren't happy with for the past 5 years and you broke up with that person this week, you have the room to explore love and connecting with other people now going forward, right? You're not tied and bound to your past. So that's going to be very apparent to you this week, and I do see that showing up. Is there any other information, though, in reference to what Scorpio can experience this week? King of Pentacles. I definitely am hearing serenity, serendipity, okay? I'm hearing those words coming in here specifically, but I also feel with the King of Pentacles, it's like, damn, do I feel stable. It's a good feeling. I think that you didn't think you'd be so comfortable jumping into something new, but automatically it feels better. So you're going to notice a change in your mood. 10 of Pentacles actually feels quite harmonious, which I mentioned with the Justice card coming out in the beginning about how you're trying to find harmonious energies here this week, and I definitely see that happening here with the 10 of Pentacles. So I think you're going to feel in resonance right away. After you let go of what this is, whether it's a person, place, or thing, you're going to feel resonance, getting ready to embrace the new. I think that a part of you expected to be anxious and worried, but I think that anxiety and those worries are going to fade so quickly, and you're going to be really, really happy with the idea of something new. So I do see your mood here definitely turning around. You could be getting some kind of wisdom here this week, Scorpio. We have here a Hermit. We have a Tower. Hermit is Virgo energy. The Tower here is Scorpio energy. So somebody here could be giving you some insight, some wisdom that's really going to help you out in this transition. And by the way, I do want to say here as well, this change in this transmission, what's the word that I'm looking for here as well? In a way, transmutation, if you will. I'm getting this feeling here that there could be somebody around you who has really good advice to offer this week. So this could be a friend, this could be a family member, this could be a lover, but somebody here I feel is almost going to kind of touch your heart in a way that really wakens you, like it wakes you up here to see the good about what's coming and to see the good about the new beginning happening in your life. So it's almost like another thing that puts you at ease, another thing that makes you comfortable. Could be some sort of wisdom coming in from another person. Maybe you watch a piece of content and it resonates with you and it puts you at ease as well. But I definitely feel like there will be something that'll happen here with this Hermit that'll show you everything's going to be okay. And you're going to start to feel okay as things continue to transition, change, and progress. So I like it a lot, guys. It's like you at first are uncomfortable, but then you quickly become comfortable with the idea of things changing and shifting in your life. So that's to be expected here so far for your main situation. And I think it's not so bad after all, You might have been seeing number synchronicities happening, especially 555. 555 resonates towards shifts and changes. It's about transformations happening, but every time there's a transformative energy with 555, it means that it's a transformation for the better. So what comes in exchange is going to be something so much better than what you've previously experienced. So I do think that there is some pretty big changes happening here so far. Now, before we get on into the rest of the stuff that I have here regarding your week, let's just talk about a little bit of a recap in your main situation, you know? I think that you start out here with this Justice and this Wheel of Fortune, trying your best here to be as harmonious as you can and embracing a change and a shift. I think that with the Emperor card, there's an urge of control that's there, and I think that that's going to be a pretty highlighted topic this week. It's about you trying to not battle or trying to not invest in the urge of control, but more to battle it and say, I need to be more in the flow. I need to be more in the energy of acceptance, more in the energy of, what's the word that I'm looking for? Because it's on the tip of my tongue and I just can't find it. But basically, it's the energy where you're just giving in, you know what I mean? And it's not surrendering. It's not even giving in. It's the energy of surrender, right? So instead of battling, change, it's like I'm surrendering to change here. And I'm really starting to see myself grow the more that I tap into the energy of surrender, right? Looking at the outcome here, the Empress, the growth will come when you surrender. And I did want to mention, it's a little challenging. It's weird. You're dealing with new territory that's unfamiliar, but I think really, really quickly, this new territory will become familiar for you. I think that you're going to feel so much lighter as you've let go of what no longer serves. Maybe it's a career, maybe it's a person, maybe it's a way of thinking, but as you've gotten to let go and kind of break out of your habit and break out of your comfort zone, you're going to start to see that it's quite exciting, getting ready here for what comes next. And I do think whatever is coming next for you is going to start to align relatively quickly. You might not see it happen exactly this week, but there's definitely things starting to, go into motion here. There's a new plan coming into motion here to take you to your next steps is what I can see here so far too. So definitely get ready to embrace something new here, guys. There is a transformation happening. Now let's get on into the rest of the read. We're going to take a look here at your career, your love life, your personal life. Then I'll get on into the outcome for you. Okay. So jumping on into career for Scorpio, what's going on here for Scorpio's career this week? Is there anything in specific coming up for Scorpios? Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. First card out is going to be the Seven of Swords. Following card is going to be the Nine of Swords. And then taking a look here at the last card, we have here the Devil. Dang, guys, what's going on here in reference to career? Seven of Swords can be about lying, cheating, stealing. It could be a very deceptive kind of energy. There could be a situation that happens, Scorpio, where maybe you feel like somebody is trying to pin something on you. If there has been thievery or stealing going around within your company, store, job, etc., and people are tending to point the finger at you when you know damn well that's not what you have done, there could be a lot of irritation showing up here this week about that. Now, I don't know if that's really what's happening. Maybe this is for one Scorpio who's watching, and if it is, I'm sorry to hear that, because that sucks, right? The one thing that, pisses me off to the core is people telling me that I did something when I didn't, or people thinking I did something when I didn't. So understand the frustration there. So there could be something like that happening. Stay in your truth. Don't sit there and cave into anybody's bullshit. And if people don't want to believe you, it is what it is. That's on them, So your truth. That's the important part. Now, regardless, looking at this in more of a bit of a general perspective for what you can experience in career, it could be a bit of a stressful week happening here. I see here with the Devil card, this is the energy of feeling really frustrated, feeling really stuck. Some of you may actually feel stuck within your career. Maybe you feel like you're not happy showing up at work on a daily basis and showing up in work in general. And it's like, I think that if you're finding this week that you do feel miserable or unhappy in the working place, this could be a great time to reconsider looking somewhere else, working somewhere else. It is still Scorpio season, right? And the main factor of Scorpio season is to take a look at what needs to change. Usually this is cycles that have been going on for far too long that have needed to end forever. And if you've been working at a job that you can't stand forever, it's time to kick that to the curb. Take out your other options. I would never say, hey, quit your job and be unemployed until you find a new one. I'd say stick around here, but keep your options open. Definitely start applying. Once you get that new position, walk away from that, jump into the new, and you're golden, baby, okay? Now, it's not going to apply to every Scorpio here. I don't want every Scorpio watching to think, oh my God, my work week is going to suck. That may not be the case for you, and I really do hope that it's not the case for many of you watching, but I do think that if you are feeling like you're wasting your time in your career with the Seven of Swords, feeling like it's been a waste of time, I could be doing so much better with my time, I'm unhappy here, I feel stuck, I think it's going to be a time here to really, really start taking into consideration what would be better for you and what you can do. Also, this is going to sound a little odd, but maybe this will resonate to somebody out there. Let's say, for example, Scorpio, you have something in mind of what you'd want to do. Maybe it requires going back to school. Maybe it requires some heavy courses. Maybe it requires some certificate or something you got to work towards. And you might be thinking to yourself, yeah, I want to do this, but it feels like it's so much hard work just to get there. Start that hard work now. Little by little, you're going to get to your goal, right? So for example, let's say you've had this inspiration to just become a dentist. It's like, I've never went to college though. It's like little by little, you can start taking those classes. Little by little, you can start doing what you need to do to start working there. Inevitably, you'll get that certification. You'll become a dentist. Maybe you want to become a police officer. It's like, hey, that academy can be rough, but at the end of the day, little by little, you can start working your way in there and into law enforcement and see what happens. So if something seems so far away, I want to remind you that one day it's going to seem so close, and that's the important part. So start now, right? It'll only be further and further away the more you delay your start. So if you're a Scorpio and you want to do something, but you're like, it's not going to be instantaneous, I have to work for a certification or I have to do XYZ and I can't get there now. It's like, forget about getting there now, but start now, because if you do that, you're inevitably going to get to where you need to go, and your future self is going to thank you, right? Or your past self, however that resonates, right? But you'll definitely be thanking yourself for doing it. So if that is a message somebody needed to hear, definitely take that, okay? All right, let's go ahead and move forward. Let's take a look at love. What's going on here for the single Scorpios coming into love this week for the week of the 20th? What do we got showing up for you? First card out, it's going to be the Death card. The following, Ace of Wands and the Two of Cups. Okay. I do feel automatically here that there could be some sort of date happening. So you could be going out on a date here this week, single Scorpio, especially if you caught a vibe with someone here with the Ace of Wands. It might be a very passionate night. Don't want to get into the details or specifics, but have fun. But we see here with the Death card, this is an energy where you feel pretty renewed. I think single Scorpios are happy to put themselves back out there. You feel happy with the person you've become. I think if you've been single and you've been working on yourself, it's like, I'm proud of who I've become. I'm proud of the person I've worked to be. And I'm at a point in time where my confidence level's here, like my confidence level is up. I feel good. So I don't mind, pursuing relationships and being the person to kind of, take initiative and take action here. So I definitely feel like lots of action is showing up here for single Scorpios. You're not afraid to reach out to get to know people. You're not, feeling very awkward or anything like that. You're super confident. I think that energy is landing you dates. Could be a specific or single date. It could be multiple dates. I don't know what your life is like. But I see here that you've really worked to become the person you've wanted to be throughout being single. Because it looks to me like you were single by choice first. And as you chose to be single, you chose to transform yourself. Now that you're happy with yourself, you're making more moves here when it comes to love and romance. So yeah, you can expect movement here this week. I think that this is about hanging out with people, going out on dates, getting to know individuals. I think that you do have a lot of great opportunity here to manifest dates this week. So use your charm here, Scorpio, because you have it. Scorpios indeed have charm. Use your charm here to land yourself some dates. You never know where they can go, okay? But it definitely feels like a pretty active week here in romance. Now, for coupled Scorpios, let's see what's up with you. What do we got going on for coupled Scorpio throughout the week of the 20th? What's showing up for you guys? We have here the Sun. Lovely. We have the Star, and we have here a Seven of Wands. Okay. I love this a lot because Seven of Wands here says, yep, I don't want nobody else, and they don't want nobody else. The two of you just want each other, okay? This is an energy that represents that you're happy, you're fulfilled. You have the Sun here and the Star, happiness, fulfillment, alignment. I think that this week is going to be a week where you and your person genuinely feel like, God dang, we're meant to be together. Like there's something that happens here that I feel verifies that and confirms that, where you and your partner just look at each other and we're like, yep, we're totally meant to be. We're two peas in a pod. It's that kind of energy. So I really like it, Scorps. For the coupled Scorpios, it's like no bad energy, no bad vibes in the slightest. I think you and your person are just so connected right now. You're on such a great timeline. This also could be about, though, planning for the future, planning events for the future with the Star. Where do you want to align with your relationship? Where do you want to take it? What would be that next level? So there could be conversations about that happening this week where you and your partner are saying, hey, you know what? We've been living in this apartment for so long. What's our next step towards getting a house? What can we do to align and make that happen? Maybe it's time to make a baby, right? Maybe we're thinking about becoming parents. How are we going to take that next step? So coupled Scorpios, I definitely see you and your partner happy with the state of your relationship, very much so in love, very much so aligned. But it's about, okay, we've gotten so far. to where we're at. We've been, we've gotten this far so far. What do we want to do next going forward? Where do we wish to take this relationship to? So conversations in that retrospect can very well likely be coming up here at some point this week. Now, having a look at Scorpios on a little bit more of a personal note this week, is there anything coming up here that we can see for Scorpio? Is there anything going on here for Scorps on a little bit more of a personal note this week? First card out is going to be the Nine of Cups. The next card here is going to be the Two of Pentacles. And then lastly, we have here the Three of Pentacles showing up as well. Yeah, Nine of Cups is a very self-fulfilling energy. Two of Pentacles as well, though, is kind of like an in and out energy. So I think that you may find that some days this week you're feeling really good. Other days you might not be feeling so great. It kind of just seems like it's inconsistent in how you feel. But that's also what you get when you work on yourself. Not every day is going to be the best day ever. But if you're working towards creating more consistent happy days going forward, then that's an awesome thing to see, and that's an awesome thing to continue to do. I'm hearing like it's just a bad day, it's not a bad life, right? Everybody has a bad day, everybody's entitled to a bad day. But when you're working on yourself towards bringing more consistent good energy and good days to the table, inevitably you're going to get to that point where you feel like every day is a blessing, every day is fantastic, right? So I think right now this is just representing I'm going to experience the highs and the lows. I'm doing what I can to bring harmonious energy into my life, harmony and peace. I'm doing what I can here to embrace new beginnings in my life and to get myself to better myself. It's not going to be easy every day, and some days may be harder than the others. But at least I'm in the process of working on myself, and that's what's important. And I think that by you acknowledging that you're working on yourself and that you're a work in progress is what makes you happy, because you could have just said, hey, here's my situation. I'm unhappy with everything, but fuck it. I'm not going to do nothing about it. I'm just going to say I'm stuck. I can't tell you guys how many people do that each and every single day. They're like, I hate my circumstances, so I'm stuck in them. And it's like, you're not ever stuck. You're always have the ability to get unstuck, but you have to be the person to do it. Universe won't pull you out of anything. You got to pull yourself out of what doesn't make you happy. Nobody's ever going to change your life. You got to change your own life. So at the end of the day here, Scorpio, you really recognize that. And you're saying to yourself, being a work in progress right now is so much better than being a stuck Sally. Okay? All right, guys, let's have a look at the outcome here, and we'll close off your read. What's going to be the overall outcome here for Scorpios throughout the week of the 20th through the 26th? What do we got? We got here the Nine of Wands in the reverse position. Love that for you. And we have here the Queen of Swords. Very, very good. Nine of Wands in the upright typically represents being very withdrawn, but the Nine of Wands in reverse here feels about getting back out there. I think that Scorpio, by releasing whatever has been making you feel so held back for a while, after you release it, you tap into this energy of the flow state, this energy of surrender. You're going to start to feel like yourself again this week. And I think that's going to be really, really wonderful for you. I also want to mention here too, with the Queen of Swords, you have a clear sense of direction coming out of this week as well. You have released something that has been around for some time. It's been something you've had longevity with. And you have moved into unfamiliar territory. But as you're navigating this unfamiliar territory this week, things are going to become abundantly clear as to what that next step is going to be. And I think that that's going to be really wonderful. I think anytime we have the clarity to know what comes next or what we can kind of expect will come next in our lives is a really great thing, because it's clarity. And I think that's what you've been looking for here this entire time. So Scorps, it's going to look like it is looking like a really awesome week. And I do hope that you guys have that same experience as well. Okay. But with that all being said here, Team Scorpio, thank you so much for coming out here to your weekly reading for the week of the 20th through the 26th of November. I hope you enjoyed it, and do have a great rest of your week. Of course, if you enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up button, and definitely if you're new here, do consider subscribing. I'd be more than happy to have you and welcome you here into the Soul family. But Scorpios, have a great day and a great rest of your week, and I will catch you all in the next video. Much love, and have yourselves a good one. Peace.